Okay. I'm not sure how many of you get notified. So earlier in the day, and I have some stuff I need to do. I had a little bit of free time, so I'm going to do a little bit of work right now. Okay. A lot of you don't get notified. If you want to get notified, you can try to subscribe. You don't get notified if you want to get notified. Unsubscribe and resubscribe may help you. Okay, so I'm going to do a full moon reading today. Let me know how that full moon is treating you. I am doing my ritual tonight with the full moon. Okay, hi Meg, how are you? So if you want to sign up for the full moon ritual tonight, please do so, you guys. $15 per person for the full moon ritual tonight. Okay, all you do is cash at me, $15 per person. PayPal or Venmo me. Okay, I'll leave it in the comments when I'm done with this video, you guys, or just head on over to my community board. I have everything about the ritual. Okay, this ritual is going to be fabulous. This is about healing family trauma, things like that. It's also going to help lift those ancestral karmic patterns that are blocking divine union. If you want to sign up you and your divine counterpart, but you have not focused on relationship, that is perfectly fine. You don't have to. You can sign up just yourself. Just remember that it's $15 per person. Okay, it's going to help remove those blocks to your divine union. Those ancestral karmic patterns that are blocking your divine union and blocking love. Okay, I'm gonna put up a post here on Instagram quick, you guys. Let people know I'm live on here. I'm also gonna hop on Instagram live quick as well when I get off here. I do not think I will be doing $30 readings this Thursday, you guys. I probably will bump that to Sunday for this round. I'm thinking Sunday I'm gonna do some $30 live readings. Okay, let me see. So if you want to sign up for my ritual, you guys, what I do is I get your name in. I do the ritual throughout the day. I've already started the ritual, but you can still hop on. I didn't officially start the full ritual, but I've already been putting intentions in and doing a lot of the work I do before I actually cast out the ritual, which I will be doing tonight at 9 p.m. Central Time. Okay, and then I post a reel on Instagram to show you that, yes, your ritual is going. I'm going to add a lot of protection. I do feel a lot of warfare going on today. Okay, so that will be there as well. This particular full moon is trying to really distort men. Okay, I really feel that. So if you want to add in you and your masculine to help protect during this ritual, I really highly recommend that. You can also add in your children, things like that. I'm also noticing, guys, that some people are getting their sacrals blocked really bad. And I've explained this before, and I'll explain it again so you guys can hear it again for those of you that may have missed it in a previous reading I did. The sacral is the portal to your soul for feminine, really heavily, the feminine especially. It's like programming your soul. If you like recently hooked up with someone that's really toxic, or you got your sacral taken or something like that, you'll like notice that things in your life start getting kind of shitty and things like that. I really recommend getting a 1 chakra clearing for me and let me get that sacral removed. I'm going to give you an example. A few of my clientele, my regular clients, hooked up with an ex or something like that that's very toxic, and they have a lot of rotten habits and things like that. They hooked up and it got a block in their sacral, and it started to reprogram their whole life, and it started to even bring toxic things into their life, like bad luck, money loss, and their kids started acting out. I'm just going to give these examples because these are things that actually happened to my clients. They hooked up with an ex that's really toxic, and that ex injected in their karma and toxicity, and this is a real thing. I'm not even kidding to you, so I'm not fear installing. It does happen, and some of you may notice if you really reflect on this, it reprogrammed their sacral and just kind of had a domino effect in their life all of a sudden. And a couple of my clients were like, I don't know what happened. My life started to fall apart, and I said, look, did you hook up with your ex? Did you have sex with your ex? Something of that nature. Yes. I'm like, okay, that ex is injecting their programming in you, and it's starting to play out in your reality field. Okay, and I can't express how sacred the feminine sacral really is. So what you invite in your sacral energy, whether you energetically invite it, or whether you physically invite it, or physically and energetically invite it, I mean, it is so important what you're allowing in there. Sacral boundaries is really important. So I just want to throw that out there. If you've had, sexual energy sent to you that's not healthy, or had interaction with a masculine that's not healthy, you may notice this domino effect happening in your life. It's actually reprogramming you on a soul level. So, you know, you can book a 1 chakra clearing with me and I can, you know, pull the cords out, pull the toxicity out for you so you can have that reset again. But be very careful, you guys. Be very careful what you are allowing with your sacral, in your sacral. I'm starting to understand more and more every single day as I do my work, how sacred the sacral and the divine feminine really is, and how it impacts on a mass scale what we're allowing in our sacral, and how that programming that you put in there is really impacting. I mean, this programming, it can be installed through wounds that you have and trauma and things like that too. So anyways, that sacral, you know, you guys keep that lady bits clean, you know what I'm saying? So just keep that clean. So your inner mother wounds, inner father wounds, you guys can also distort your sacral as well. So I'm just going to throw that out there. So anyways, I'm going to start this reading. This is what's going on with this full moon, you guys. With the full moon in Gemini, I feel like communication is going to come in. If you want to book a reading with me, you guys, I do have a tendency to induce communication for some reason. When I do readings, I'm really good at reading divine masculine energy anyways, but I tend to trigger and induce communication. So if you want to book a reading with me, it may actually like amp up the possibility of communication, but you can't hold on to that expectation. That's the secret with my work. You can't hold on to the expectation of it just randomly happen. You know, I've done a reading and then somebody goes, hey, I did a reading and I just heard from him. It's been, you know, 6-7 months or whatever. Yes, I have that capability, you guys. Okay, so let's see what's going on with this full moon. I also have like 5 or 6 more spots left for full moon readings, you guys. If you want to hop on my website and book those, I will be getting those done between today and the next few days. The full moon energy is still amped up for, it's about a week, you know, it's about 3 to 4 more days. The energy is going to be amped up. So if you want to book those full moon readings, you guys, I actually channel in like what's illuminating for you, because I feel like full moons are about endings, but it's about illumination as well. So feel free to book that as well on my website. Okay, they've been really awesome. What I've been getting in, you guys, is absolutely amazing. What's illuminating for you? Okay, what's illuminating? Okay, so what's going on? Oh, thank you, Alyssa, for the compliment. Thank you. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so there is some conflict coming in here, you guys, you know, with the twin flame or soulmate connections. You guys, just a reminder, I don't worry about labels, okay? I feel like a lot of you, what you're meeting right now, a lot of you are drawing in your divine soulmate. Okay, that's what I really pick up is divine soulmates are coming in. This is your ultimate partner. So if your twin flame connection was your learning tool and you're kind of letting it go right now, you might be actually on the way to drawing in your divine soulmate. Whether your twin flame connection expels everything and they end up being that or not, I mean, that's up to God, you know, and your ancestors. But what's really coming in right now, you guys, is these divine soulmate connections. Some of you may be in there about that. You may have a new masculine, or you're reconciling with an ex that's actually your divine soulmate. You had to go off and kind of wander and learn and things like that, and learn your lessons, and then you come back. That happens a lot as well. So this is not a particular label, you guys. This is just an open reading here. So whatever you have, you know, I am open to all labels, all whatever you guys are, you know, focused on is what is for you. So I just want to throw that out there. I don't feel like you have to have a twin flame label on your connection to watch this reading, okay? I do feel that there's a playful energy that's going to be coming out this full moon, okay? I've kind of picked that up with the Page of Wands. There's a playful energy. Some of you are going to be reconciling with the connection with this full moon is what I'm seeing. But there's a lot of outside energies that are trying to block divine union right now, okay? This full moon is drawing in ancestral karmic patterns is what I'm really picking up, you guys. And a lot of you are going to start reflecting a lot. You're going to realize that your ancestors or your previous generations thought it wasn't okay to be happy. Okay, I thought that you had to live in misery and things of that nature. So I feel like there's really some focus on that, a reflection of that with this full moon energy. You're going to start reflecting and being like, I don't have to live in toxicity. I could be happy, things like that. But some of you may feel guilt or shame for being happy is what I'm seeing. I feel guilt and shame trying to clear out. You know, so you can be happy. Vanessa, I sent your full moon reading out this morning. It was absolutely awesome. It was awesome. Okay, I channeled that shit right in for you. So there's going to be some conflict coming in the air with this full moon, and I feel this is around family or ancestral karmic patterns for you guys that's actually blocking your divine union. Some of you may have some dark spirits, or the masculine does as well, that kind of meddle in relationships, things like that. This is from your ancestors, like this is spirits that were following your ancestors, things like that. This is coming up. A lot of you are going to start rejecting these spirits is what I feel. And the masculine needs to gain the courage to do this. Okay, the masculine needs to gain the courage to do this and understand that he deserves to be happy. And the masculine is working through fears is what I'm hearing. Heavy fears around relationship. There's a lot of balancing acts coming on. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. Okay, so there's a lot of like balancing act going on, this back and forth kind of energy. I feel like there's a lot of focus with this full moon as well. You know, with the sun in Sagittarius, I feel like Sagittarius season is, you know, it's traveling, it's action based, and that sort of thing. So we got the sun in Sagittarius, we got the full moon in Gemini. This is a balancing act with this is a balancing act. I feel like it's action based communication as well. You make communication that's actually like going to be like, hey, let's meet up, let's do this sort of thing. So some of you are going to get that sort of thing coming in. Okay, some of you, like if people dropped off the planet all of a sudden. Some of you are going to have that as well. So with the mask, and all of a sudden people drop off the planet. They don't answer your texts. They don't answer your calls, whatever that may be. They dropped off the planet. There has been a shift that has occurred in the last couple of weeks, especially, that has like pulled people out of the timeline. They will not be moving forward. They have chosen not to move forward at this time. You know, I don't know exactly what's to come, because there's always like these timelines that collapse. You know, there's like, you know, let's say 10 timelines going. Okay, and all of a sudden a few of them collapse, and it's a slow process, right? And some people are still in that timeline where you have grown as an individual and moved forward. So some of you, a masculine you were holding on to suddenly just vanished. Okay, this is what I'm saying. And they quit talking to you, things like that. And you're like really bummed about it. They may have fallen out of the timeline. They may have chosen in this lifetime not to rise up in the full potential. Their soul chose not to, okay? So they may have fallen out. If that's your storyline, or suddenly you have family and friends that just like dropped out, just poof, they're not talking to me. Like, what the hell happened? They blocked me on Facebook, whatever that story may be. You are no longer aligning, and this is okay. This is okay, because this is necessary for growth. But this is happening in the masculine as well. This is happening in masculine. This full moon is heavily testing people right now, I feel. Gemini energy, you guys, is really the twin energy. It's the mirror. Okay, it's the mirror, and it's the twin energy. You know, you're looking at yourself in the mirror. It's a big reflectional period. True colors, I feel, come on. Gemini can be very gossipy energy as well. So I'm kind of picking up a gossipy, troublemaking, shitty energy as well, which the ritual I'm doing tonight, I'm going to be lifting a lot of this sort of energy. I felt heavy gossipy energy in the air this morning when I woke up. A lot of meddling and icky energy, and that's the shadow side of Gemini energy. But the good side is the reflection, and actually looking in the mirror and going, I have to take self-accountability. If you're actually growing, you're going to be doing this. So you're going to wake up this morning, you're going to feel some heavy energy. Some of you are going to feel heavy energy today, the masculine will as well. And it's a test. Am I actually reflecting on my true self, or am I trying to blame people? Because we have been taught, society has been taught that we need to blame everybody else for our problems. And this is where society is weakened. This is where humanity is falling apart as well. Okay, so with the twins, you know, just imagine the twins, the two heads that face each other. I believe they face each other a lot of times, and the symbol for Gemini, you know, you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're looking at other people, and you're going to notice the mirrors. Okay, you're going to notice the mirrors within other people as well at this full moon. A lot of you are going to start illuminating to this, to your mirror. Your mirror is everywhere you go, everything you do, everything you interact in, and things of that nature. So the masculine is having tests here, and they got to figure this out, that, you know, everything is my mirror. So everything's falling out. Oh, well, you know, they mirrored to me what they needed to mirror at the time, but they're falling out. Okay, and the masculines tend to learn the hard way more so than the feminine. The feminine, I feel, is more teachable and more guide, you know, they guide a little better, but the masculine, they're more stubborn, as you guys likely know. So they are starting to see this, but the thing is, the masculine have to be more stubborn, ladies. They have to be more stubborn, and I know it's sexist. They're not doing what I want, but ladies, we're not supposed to tell men what to do, okay? We can't do that. They are stubborn, and they are resistant, and they are like, you know, back at you because they're supposed to lead. Okay, they're supposed to lead, they're supposed to protect, and they simply can't do that if they're listening to the feminine going, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this. You know, they got to find it themselves. So a lot of times they will be defiant, and you're like, they're being a child. Yes, in a sense they are, but they need to be, in order to preserve the masculine energy as well, to lead. Okay, otherwise you're getting the good boy. Ladies, you don't want a good boy, okay? We don't want good boys. Don't raise your sons to be good boys. You want to raise your son to protect, to defend, to rise up, to lead, you know, to take control and everything like that, to take control of his own life, that sort of thing. Okay, and this is how men get toxic, you guys. This is how men get toxic. They're unable to, you know, to have the capacity, the mental capacity to enter in and be able to lead with their full divine masculine energy, okay? And they've been told they can't. They've been told they can't be in their full divine masculine energy. So this sort of stuff is going to come up to be reflected on as well. The shadow side of the masculine, the good side of the masculine, the mirror of it. Same with the feminine, shadow feminine, good side of the feminine. And you're going to be around people that are going to be your mirrors. And you're going to be around, if you still you'll have some distortions going on. You're going to be around people that are fully sovereign and free out of that shadow feminine, and they're going to mirror to you, you guys, and I'm going to say this very loud and clear, they're going to mirror to you during this full moon energy, and they're going to trigger the fuck out of you. And the reason why is because they're fine with who they are, and these are the people that trigger you. So you're going to be like, they're targeting you, you're going to feel something like that, but that's not the case. These people, when they enter your life during this full moon energy, are triggering you so you see them as the mirror is what I'm picking up. Okay. And the same goes for the masculine, you guys. So it's just kind of like with the feminine and the masculine in these connections, there's a sudden mirroring thing going on with the shadow feminine and the sovereign divine feminine going on here. So a lot of you are going to be actually consciously reflecting your cycles. You're going to be not targeted, but triggered by certain people that don't care. Okay, that don't care what you think of them, and this may trigger you because you still care what others think of you. For example, things of that nature. So big mirroring effect. I trigger people really badly, and I don't even do anything to them. I'm just simply myself, and that sort of thing. So there's going to be a lot of that going on as well. So I hope I made sense, you guys. I channel and I get going, and sometimes people are like, I don't understand what you're saying. Okay, so I hope you guys can make out what I'm saying, okay? So there's also a lot of anxiety going on, okay? A lot of anxiety going on this full moon as you go back and forth. What do I believe? What do I believe? And this is the thing. You're going to have people in the right timeline, in the God timeline, the alignment of the God timeline that are going to be telling you things that you know are true and you know you should be following, but you think it's too good to be true, but no, you know it's not. But then you got people in the dark timeline that are trying to bait you with guilt, with the shadow side of the feminine and masculine energy, with guilt trips, shaming, making you feel like shit. But making you feel like you have to obey that timeline. So there's going to be people coming in, you know, from the shadow timelines are to be like tricking you or trying to get you to obey the shadow timeline. Do I make sense here? To obey what you used to be and get back into your shadow energy with this full moon in Gemini. Okay, so there's going to be some anxiety about that because a lot of you used to obey those timelines. Yeah, am I correct? You used to obey those timelines. But then you're going to be like, but I want to be free and I want to be down this timeline of God and I want to be down that. And those people are going to be there trying to guide you. And a lot of you are going to be tempted to feel like you need to make a decision, and it's going to give you anxiety because you're going to be feeling torn between two different worlds, and you want these worlds to go together. But the simple fact is, you guys, is that we can't force this process. We can't force two worlds to go together right now, and it's very clearly divided. The timelines are shortening, and there's less of them now, and it's very clearly divided. And it's not divided to promote war, if you're thinking right. There's two divides, you guys. There's two sides, and they all wrap around to the same bullshit of the agenda. And then we got the timeline of God. So there's actually three kind of the timelines going on, but two of them go to the same crap. Do I make sense? Okay, so you're going to be like, do I go or do I stay back? Because you're going to have old friendships, or you're going to have your old cycles that are going to be calling your name during this. You know, you're going to have your shadow going, feminine, you miss me. Feminine, don't you miss me? Or you're going to have, you know, your old friendships going, I thought we were friends for 20 years and you're not, you know, guilt trips. You're going to have all of those old ways coming back and trying to call you. And these are the people from your old shadow. And you can go, look, you know, this is how I am. You can go, look, this is who I am. I am confident in what I'm doing, because lack of confidence will take the bait of that shit. And I don't care what you think. And if you're cool with who I am, you're cool with what I'm doing, then cool. But if not, I'm not going to shapeshift my identity and my personality to what you're doing. Okay? So do I make sense? You're going to have those old timelines just calling me, feminine, come, I'm right here. But then I realized I feel like shit when I'm in those timelines. Like this morning, I could feel that happening. I woke up and I'm like, there's dark energy around me. Like there's this weirdness. I feel weird. I feel insecure. I feel lack of confidence. I feel weird, you know, all these things. And I'm like, oh, it's my shadow. Bye. Okay, so, you know, that's up to you. And the ripping back and forth between your freedom and your old shadow, you guys, it's a very tough situation. It's almost like, I swear, bipolar disorder comes from this. That's a whole nother topic. Okay, I swear. Okay, so there's going to be this anxiety about that. You're going to feel like you're just like, you know, where do I go? I mean, do I go back to my old life? There's people that want me to, you know, and I always say don't. Move forward. If these people are really meant to be in your life, why should you be shamed and guilt tripped and feeling like shit that you have to be in their life? And you have to obey your shadow. You have to bow down to your shadow to be in their life. Think about this, feminine. Is that really worth it? The masculine, if they're expecting that out of you, if you have to bow down and be in your old shadow self, that's imprisonment. That's imprisonment. You know, so If the masculine isn't ready to have you in their life right now, they might be in that old timeline yet. And it's time to just think about releasing the expectations and just going, okay, I will be okay. I will be okay. I'm safe. I'm protected. I'm aligned, and just keep reminding yourself of these things. And the masculine, that's when they rise, is when the feminine lets go, you guys. So a lot of you, yes, you can join kids in my rituals as well. Yes, absolutely. Yes. I really do promote that. I even do clearings on kids, you guys, and it's phenomenal results. Kids actually need clearings. Okay. Kids have phenomenal results, and kids tend, well, my own kids are very independent, but I said my kids might not need to. Kids tend to get very independent when I do clearings, and it's not exactly easy for the parent when I clear children, because children are very resilient and they heal very well. And when I've cleared kids, like done a full clearing on them, they become very fierce and independent, and they see, and kids see a lot better than adults do because they are younger and the resilience is there. So a lot of times, like, the kid starts leading the parents to their divine path once they do the clearing, because they are now fierce and seeing things. But the problem is they're not going to mold to society's perception of them as easy anymore when I do clearings. But my manifestations aren't full clearings, but I'm talking about full clearings when I clear children. It's phenomenal results. I can't even believe it. I got a couple emails. They're like, my daughter is all of a sudden very fierce and independent. And I'm like, yep, that's kind of what happens. So anyways, yes, you can include, your partners, you can include your family, you can include your friends, whatever. It's just $15 per individual. I put a lot in my rituals, you guys, a real lot. I've already been starting on it today, like I said. But even after I start the ritual tonight at 9 p.m. Central Time, there is still time to hop in and get your name in on that, because I can just go add it in. The ritual goes for 3 days, and I freshen it up every day of those 3 days, okay? So there's a lot of anxiety, you guys, and a lot of this anxiety is because, think of it this way. The masculine and feminine is having this illumination process, and your ancestors I'm going to draw in the ancestral guidance as well with this ritual, and that's going to be very important. But you have anxiety as you're illuminating, because when you're facing your shadow, and the awakening to your shadow being nothing but a lie is extremely traumatic in a sense, and it does triggers, and this is where people start to project. So you may be tempted to project feminine. Be very careful with that. Going, who's doing this to me? Somebody's messing with me. Somebody's doing it. Well, yeah, they maybe are, but it's up to you to align and not accept that projection from them as well. So the Gemini full moon, there's going to be a lot of projecting, a lot of mirroring going on, and a lot of hard endings. You guys, I really feel with the Gemini full moon, there's going to be a lot of arguments, and there's going to be hard feelings, okay? So be ready for people being offended and being upset. I mean, society needs to, toughen up. We were told to be offended and cry about everything. If somebody doesn't say something that fits your narrative. If you're confident in your life, I'm going to repeat this, I've repeated so many times. If you're confident in who you are, you should never be offended, okay? If somebody says something, it can trigger awakening, yes. So if somebody is offended at something you said, they shouldn't be offended if they're confident that what they're doing is okay. We cannot force people to adapt to our narratives. And there's going to be a lot of people trying to do that with this Gemini full moon, trying to force adapting to narratives. You can say your narrative. You have a right to do that. Just speak what you feel to be true and what you feel to be right. Speak it up. If other people are offended, it's not your fault. Okay? There's going to be a lot of that with the Gemini full moon as well, as people offended, crying, whining. That was me. And I felt this energy going out last night that was like offended energy, okay? And I rejected that. I was like, no, that's the moon sending shit out. That's just, the astrology placements and things of that nature, trying to get people offended and crying and all that bullshit. Well, it's not your responsibility of somebody else's reaction to what you see to be true, okay? If they think you seriously hurt them and went and destroyed their life because you just feel a certain way, then they have problems, okay? So that's kind of another energy that's going to be coming through to be transmuted with this full moon as well. A lot of illumination. Time to be logical is what I'm hearing as well. Be careful of not being logical during this full moon. I'm hearing that. You might get yourself in a fantasy land or a dreamy land. I'm hearing that as well. Okay. I do feel there's going to be a lot of defending your own path going on right now, which is perfectly fine. I feel like there's going to be defensive behavior, though, trying to preserve the curses. People are trying to preserve the curses, and that's what you're trying to save away, or no, get away from, excuse me. You're trying to get away from this, get away from curses. I do feel with the Five of Swords It's, like I said, a lot of gossipy bullshit energy going on. But there's going to be, with the Seven of Wands, a lot of people trying to preserve the curses, trying to preserve their karmic cycles and defend their karmic cycles because they simply do not want to illuminate. They get triggered to illumination. And this may happen to some of you as well with the masculine, or you may notice the masculine are a little bit pissy or snippy because they don't want to change. The illumination that's coming upon them with this full moon is the ending. It's the last moon of the year, of the calendar year anyway. I don't feel it's the astrology year, but the calendar year. It's a massive illumination, and I feel like people get very defensive during this full moon. And they're like, no, that's not the way it is, because they don't want to see. They simply do not want to see. They don't want to see it all. They don't want to accept, and they get into that toxicity, and they start trying to preserve their karmic cycles, the curses and things like that, because they simply like they don't want to take the rose-colored glasses off. So just be aware of that feminine, that type of energy coming upon you, or seeing that collectively. So there's going to be focus on family. Ten of Cups, there's going to be focused on family. And I feel like when it comes to family dynamics or being happy, because the Ten of Cups can also be happiness, contentment, and things of that nature, there's going to be these blinders coming off and shit like that, where I feel like that a lot of you are going to see the toxicity. You're going to see things that you're going to understand that this shadow, your shadow self, or what you were taught to be true, or what you thought had to be true, and that sort of thing in your life. You're going to start seeing that you don't have to defend this anymore, because we're taught to really hold on to the karmic cycles, and not only hold on to them and hold on to the shadow, but defend it. We have to hold on to it. We have to hold on. And I feel like a lot of you, the blinders are going to they're going to fall off, and you're going to be like, wait a minute, I don't have to do this anymore. Okay. And there's going to be a realization of this as well, and a huge illumination around this, and you're going to be like, I thought I had to hold on to that because I needed to cover it up. I needed to cover the skeletons in the closet up. I needed to just, morph myself into the perception that everyone else had of me, or what I told was me. Okay. Because a lot of you got an identity given to you, sort of thing, and you were told to morph into it and things of that nature. This is a whole nother topic I could talk about for hours, and why this is happening. This is a whole nother story. This is more the rabbit hole. Okay, I could take you down the rabbit hole. But you're going to realize that, no, I don't have to do this because everyone else is doing it. I don't have to do this because I was told I had to do this. I don't have to follow this. I don't have to be told what happiness is for me. A lot of you have been told what happiness is for me. Let me give you an example. In order to be happy, you have to work yourself to death. That's how you make money. Then you pay for your stuff, and that's how you're happy. Okay, but is that really happiness? Because I feel like this installment was pounded into people, throughout generations. But is that truly happiness? There's going to be a massive reflectional period going on with the feminine and masculine during this as well. With that is understanding that maybe that's not happiness. What I was told was happiness really isn't happiness because I'm not feeling it. But you're striving for that because you're told that's happiness. Do I make sense? So a lot of karma that's balancing out right now, a lot of karmic cycle that's balancing out. Don't allow yourself to take the short end of the karmic cycles balancing out, okay? Because a lot of you have been manipulated to take the imbalance of a cycle so other people can dump in you, okay? You've been told to do this. You may have done this with the masculine. You may have taken the short end of the stick willingly, though, because we allowed it, right? And you were imbalanced, and you took breadcrumbs, and you took less, and you feel that, but you can't force the masculine, you can't force anybody at all, or the masculine or whatever, to give back to you. You can't force that, but you're going to detach and just balance yourself out, and not allow this imbalance, because a lot of us have allowed this imbalance, and once we allow ourselves to be a victim, and once we allow this imbalance in our life, we tend to allow this with every connection around us, whether it's work, friends, whatever. We allow this breadcrumbing thing to happen. So once we pull our energy back and call our energy back from that and just go, look, I'm not going to allow this anymore. Okay. But you can't be like, you got to have the balance still. You can't force people that breadcrumbed you to give back to you. That's the thing, you guys. And I feel like that a lot of people are making that mistake. They're like, I'm no longer ever giving again because I gave too much. Well, that's not balance. That's not how you balance. Okay. You got to call your energy back and have boundaries and not allow people to breadcrumb you anymore. But the thing is, you guys, it's kind of a complicated thing with the balancing, because I feel a lot of people that have given. The bleeding empath, for example, has given themselves to depletion. They're like, I give all the time, I give all these things. But the thing is, then they do expect back eventually because they're going to be depleted of energy. Okay, so that's just an example. And you're going to turn on, and also the bleeding empaths are selfish. Okay. and they expect back. Well, what's going to happen if you go too far the opposite direction? You're going to suddenly, the scales are going to go from like this to like this, and you're all of a sudden going to be imbalanced, and you're not going to receive that way as well. So keep the balance within yourself, the giving and receiving. Don't be like, I gave all my life, I lost everything, I gave everything up, and I got nothing in return, and then turn around and be completely selfish and greedy, because what's going to happen? You're not going to get anything. So I'm saying with like the masculines, if you're in a relationship right now, don't turn around and be like, I'm never giving to you again, you're an asshole, you used me, that sort of thing, and expect them to give to you. It's not going to always work that way, okay? So stay balanced within yourself with everything, with the proper boundaries, okay? This full moon really is about balance. I really feel that, you guys. I feel that with the Sagittarius Gemini energy, and then we got the dual side and the shadow and the light thing, like looking right at each other in the face. You know, this is going to be a very balancing full moon. Plus we got the end of the year, and it's holidays, and there's a lot of, you know, hard feelings during holidays that come up. So it's going to be really emotional. See what's going on in masculine and feminine. So there is masculine and feminine karma balancing out with this full moon is what I'm hearing. I do see communication coming in very soon. Okay. A lot of you are going to get communication. I see it. I feel it. I really do. Okay. Yes. I'm really feeling that with the Page of Pentacles. Some of you are going to meet a new love interest though. I feel that too. How many of you have met a new love interest? Are you guys meeting a new love interest? Because that should be coming in as well. All right, you guys. So I hope that illumination reading helped you. I know I gave a lot of information. A lot of you might have to re-watch this and soak all that in. When I channel very, very fast. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that reading. I'm going to hop off here and do some other work before I don't have time anymore today. You guys, I'm very busy this week. I have a lot of crap going on. I have a lot going on. So I'm going to be a little bit absent this week. Those of you on my Patreon, thank you for your patience and understanding that I can't post much this week. Okay, you guys, so you have a beautiful night. All right, bye-bye.